I'm going to give a demonstration today on how to attach two slabs together for the slab sculpture project. What you're going to do is unwrap your slabs. And you will need your picture. You'll need your ceramic slab sculpture handout with the steps. So whenever you're ready for this step, just do it. Check out demo number 3, step 3. That's what we're on right now. This is good to always keep handy. This is the choice underglazes that you have. You will need some slip, and from the container that's marked slip, a little cup, and if, every once in a while we'll run low, so just know that there's white vinegar and dry clay mixed together makes a slip. It's not water and clay. If you're attaching two pieces of clay together and you add too much water, then you'll get cracks. So what I did this morning is I came in and I took some dry clay and vinegar. It does smell vinegary. I put clumps of dry clay in there, poured some vinegar, put the lid on really, really well, made sure the lid was on really, really tight, made sure the lid is on really, really tight. That's important. And just shake it up. Ironically, it looks like protein shake. From having back problems from making pottery 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, I go through a lot of this. I exercise and I go through a lot of this powder. So this is a recycled whey protein container, and it kind of looks like whey protein. So what you're going to do, somewhere I got the scoop, is just help yourself to a container. You also need a scratch tool. You can use a fork. You can use a metal rib that's serrated on one edge. My favorite thing to use is a broken old man comb. Remember these? Barbershop kind of style. They work great. Gonna unwrap your slabs. Put them aside. Make sure you get a nice flat surface for your base slab. Rib out with a metal rib any folds or ridges. This is going to be important. This base is going to support your whole slab. Let's take off any paper towels that's on the back of your slab and make sure your slab still bends. Bend it like this. And then think about how you want it to look on the base. In order to attach your vertical slab to your base, the bottom should be cut straight. We did that on the first day. But if it's not, you can still recut it. If your slab's flexible, it's fine. You can do that anytime. Stick it on there. And then just make a mark on both sides to show where you're going to be scratching. Over scratch. I'm scratching, scratching, scratching. And something that I think is really fun is now you get to roll a coil, or in fun terms, a snake. Now don't be nervous. Mixing clay bodies is not good. This is white, that's gray, it's okay. This is the same clay body. It's just the color of the clay that's different, but the makeup is the same. Both clays are going to fire white. So you don't have to worry about this firing out gray and this firing out white, they're both gonna fire out white. Now, this is where it gets tricky. There's 4 people to a table. Some people are rolling, some people are, might have their slab vertical. Just be careful of each other's slab. Get toward the snake. This skill will be important in ceramics, and we will utilize every skill from this project to another project. For instance, we're going to attach our slabs, a vertical slab to a flat slab, when we create teapots in this class. Scratch the bottom of the vertical part of your slab and make sure this is scratched really, really well. When these two don't stick together, I look, like say somebody has a dried slab sculpture, I look, and most of the times it's because this is flat or this is flat. Lack of scratching usually really hurts or causes a slab to remove from another slab. Then the next thing you're going to do is take your slit and really get it in there. Remember, this is vinegar, not water. Vinegar really works like a glue. It breaks down the surface of the clay. You really only have to put it on one side. And then I'm pushing it down. I might ruin some of the texture, and if I do, that's okay, because as long as I keep, after this is attached with the coils, as long as I keep this wet with damp paper towels, I can re-texturize the clay. Also, notice I haven't stippled my design onto my slab sculpture yet. The reason I haven't done that is timing. Because these have been sitting around for a few days, I could do this after it's connected. And then I have all the time in the world. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to take this big coil, and it seems like overkill at first, but watch how the coil stretches around the slab. I'm pushing as I go. You're going to do the front, the corners, and the back. And I'm really pushing it in. I'm not just laying it across, I'm really pushing it. This is really wet clay straight out of the bag, so it doesn't need to be scratched. And it doesn't need slip on it. It's already wet and it's already squishy, so my hope is that it gets in the corners really well. Now that connection looks really ugly. So what do we do to make it look good? We have two choices. We can open our phone and make some kind of like sculptural detail connected to the edge here. I know there's a girl in 5A that wants to put three-dimensional coral around the bottom, so she wouldn't have to clean this up. If you don't plan on having any three-dimensional decoration here, that's fine. That's not on the rubric for this project at all. It is for the teapot, but not for this one. So what you can do is take a credit card and clean up that edge. Do the same thing in front, but what about the color? Well, the edge is important, so you decide and make a line where your underglaze decoration is gonna stop. Just like that. Once this is on there, you can really take a sigh of relief. This is the hard part about the project. Why? Because if you don't make sure that these are wet and they start to dry out, you can't really attach the slabs. Once this is done, you can take weeks, but we won't. But you can take weeks to decorate, just with damp paper towels over it every day, and you could just keep, scratch attach small pieces, layer underglaze, carve through underglaze, all of that, and really just have fun with that. The next step, once this is done, and this can happen the next day if you want it to, is this. Ceramic decoration, there should be some type of neat edge. You don't want to just leave it like raw cut clay, So something that I like to do is to take a piece of a credit card and scissors and cut an edge. It can look like anything. I just recut that because the card was starting to bend and it wasn't giving me a neat edge. I'm going to use this one. It's a little stiffer. If your card starts to bend, just switch it out. Starbucks, they're going to have good gift cards, good quality. They don't bend. Nice. Take a filing knife. Better to leave too much than not enough. But really this edge can look however you want it to look, as long as it looks neat and finished. It can look kind of organic if you want it to. Or it can be like a square block. It's really up to you. And with a few minutes extra time, take it all the way to the back. The back's important too. Even if you decide to not decorate the back of your slab, which that's not a requirement for this assignment, but some people like to write stuff on the back. It's nice to have your nice, neat framed edge go around the entire sculpture. You don't want it to stick to the slab and crack. Just run a knife along the bottom. This technique is beautiful on the potter's wheel. You'll have the option when we make cups and bowls to cut a credit card and hold it on the wheel head as the wheel spins, and it gives you a really nice foot or bottom to your pot. And really, that's pretty much it. You'd go all the way around, make sure this edge is neat. And then gets wrapped a little bit differently. You want to make sure that that edge has a paper towel around the whole thing. If you continue to stipple, you don't want to wrap your picture with your slab because it could get like moldy or gross. So wrap the whole edge, the face if you're still stippling your image down the front, which most of us are, and then like this. The other thing that I would do is I would physically move this to your shelf. Put it on your shelf. Then come back and get the plastic. And tuck it under. Why? Because when you're moving your slab and you can see the slab, you're more careful when you move it. It's not going to tip. This way, if you're walking across the room with it covered in plastic, chances are you're going to tip it the wrong way and it'll fall over. So, and that's it. Thanks.